What is up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and we have hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate it. That is amazing, guys. I was hoping we'd make it by the end of September. It took a little longer. It took about an extra week, but yeah, it's wonderful. You guys are amazing. All of you are. And there will be that big giveaway coming soon. Once I get through all the get the monetization and everything set up on YouTube and everything's finalized, then we will do the giveaway. And I'm not going to say anything about how I'm going to do it yet. You guys will find out as time goes by, as we get closer to it. But I am going to tell you there's going to be some really cool stuff in it. So I am still waiting on a couple of things to get here also. So that's another reason it's going to take a little bit longer. But one thing you do see with YouTube also, just to make you guys aware, is subscriber numbers will fluctuate. They go up and down, up and down, up and down. One day you'll gain 3, and the next day you'll lose 4. I don't know why it happens. I think there's a lot of spam and bots out there, and YouTube just deletes people from time to time. They're not actually people, but they're deleting bots. So, but it is coming, just to let you guys know. All right, today we're going to take a look at a knife that I really like. This is another knife sent in by Chris, aka Q-Ball. Thank you very much, Chris. I greatly appreciate it. I like this knife a whole lot. This is the Miguron Centurion II. If you remember a couple days ago, if you saw my Centurion video, the original Centurion, I said, I wish they would make a slightly smaller version and do a flipper delete. Well, they did. They did just that. And here it is. Just a quick comparison. Actually, I'll do it after. I'll make it the first comparison knife. But man, this one's right up my alley. I love this knife. This is a perfect sized knife for my hand size. So, all right, let's give you the specs on it real quick, because there's a big difference between the 1 and the 2. Very big difference. So, all right, overall length on this one. Oop, hair there. Overall length is 8.12 inches. Blade length's 3.5 inches. Blade thickness is only 120 thousandths on the 2. Satin finish, handle length's 4.65 inches. Handle thickness is exactly 1/2 inch. S90V blade still on this one. 59 to 61 HRC rating. It says the weight's 5.5 ounces. That is not accurate. We're going to weigh that. There's no way this weighs 5.5 ounces. Yeah, impossible for it to weigh that. It is a right-handed tip-up carry only. Let's weigh this thing real quick, because this thing can't be much over 4 ounces. But the website says it's 5.5 ounces, so there's no way that's accurate. I've been wrong before, but I'm not wrong on this one. There's no way this thing weighs 5 ounces. Even 5, much less 5.5. All right. 3.8. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'd be surprised if it was over 4. 3.8 ounces. Just out of curiosity, the original Centurion 5. See, I think they put the weight from the original one on there for the 2. So that's what I'm thinking happened here. Somebody messed up and put the wrong weight on there. So under 4 ounces on this one, which is fantastic. And yeah, really cool knife, guys. Let's do some size comparisons real quick. Well, first I'll do the other size comparisons, then we'll end with the original Centurion and talk about the differences between the 2. Here is the Demco AD 20.5. Quite a bit longer than the 20.5. Here's an interesting knife I haven't had out yet that I will have a review coming up. The SOG Terminus XR. How about the Monterey Bay Knives Slayback? The Spyderco Para 3. The Penguin, of course. We always do the Penguin. And the Bug Out. Always do the Bug Out also. Between the last 3 knives, most people have one variation or the other of a Penguin, a Bug Out, or a Para 3. So that'll give you guys a good idea on the size. Now let's pull out the original Centurion, because big differences between these 2 knives. Very big differences. Size, first off. I mean, my goodness. You know, it's almost 2 ounces heavier than the 2. They did do the flipper delete. Blade shape is very similar, although a lot smaller. The grind is different. You do have a compound grind on the one, where you got one flat grind here, and at the tip they did a separate flat grind to keep this edge thin right here, but to keep the tip thick. On this one, you just have a flat grind all the way and a swedge on the top. Horizontal on the flats, same as this one, horizontal on the flats and a swedge on the top. Right here, this additional grind at the tip is the only difference in the grind, really. The rest of it's very, very similar. They did not anodize the pivot collars on this. Well, actually, it only has a pivot collar. I don't even know if that's a pivot collar, actually. It may just be a milled out line in there to make it look like a pivot collar. Unlike this one where they did anodize the pivot collar. They didn't anodize the thumb studs either. They did use different thumb studs, slightly different thumb studs. As you can see here, the milling on the sides here is different, and then on the top over here you had a little bit of milling at the top and a rounded edge. It just kind of comes to a point here. Both thumb studs work very well. One's not better than the other with these. I like them both equally. One thing about this one, the stop pin, I'm going to bring it up by the mic, has a rattle. That's an easy fix. You can just take this knife apart, put a little blue Loctite in there and put the stop pin back in, and it'll stop that rattle. Not a big deal, but it does have that rattle. Pocket clip, similar shape pocket clips, but very different. This one, yeah, just very different shaped, or differently done, but similar shape with that curve to follow the lines of the knife. So this one, you do have, this one is a true frame lock, although the bolsters are acting as your over travel stop here. So, but this one is more like a bolster lock, the original. Yeah, and see, you don't have a relief cut here because they milled these liners out, or this, they've milled out the titanium so thin for the carbon fiber overlays that they didn't really need a relief cut in there for this. Where with this one being a true frame lock, they had to put the relief cut on it. It'd been nice if they put that relief cut on the inside so you don't see it, but not a big deal. One thing that is very different between these is the lock bar. The original lock bar, although they didn't give you a cutout, it's so wide you get to it no problem, but it's just buttery smooth. I'm assuming that's because of how thin this titanium is. It's just, and the length of it, right? You get so much leverage because of how long it is. It's buttery smooth. This one isn't bad, but the original is better. They did give you a little, they did cut out the side a little bit to give you better access to it. It is a little sharp right here on the edge, but it's not terrible, but it's definitely a little sharp. You can feel it. I mean, if you were sitting here doing this repeatedly, it's going to bother you. Just unlocking it normally, it's not going to be an issue. But this one's a little stiffer than that one for sure. Definitely takes a little more effort to push this lock bar over. It's not hard, but compared to this one, it's harder. So S90V compared to, I believe the original was M390, if I remember correctly. 99% sure that's M390. Yeah, it's M390. Yeah, it's right there on the flipper tab. So if you look at the knife, they are shaped very similar, right? They definitely did some different thing with the backspacer here. They kind of did these notches here for aesthetics, which looks pretty good in my opinion. Here, and they also put some milling in this backspacer for aesthetics. It doesn't provide any traction or anything. Here they just kept it simple and smooth. These run about $200. These run about $240. These are currently not being sold by Megaron, although you can find them on the secondary. These are available from Megaron. This one is the one with the blue in the shred carbon fiber. Not a whole lot of blue in there. Just little hints of blue here and there, as you can see. And then they also have it in with red and just all black. So there's 3 different options of this one, and they are available on Megaron's website. I'll link them below, just so you know I'm not affiliated with Megaron or anything. I don't. If you buy one, it doesn't do anything for me. But I really like this knife. The ergonomics on the original are really good. But this one's even better for me anyway. For my hand size, it's just perfection. This knife feels so good in hand. The carbon fiber on this side just makes it feel softer in your hand. The pocket clip, because it curves with the shape of the handle, it just disappears into your hand, completely vanishes. You don't feel it at all. There are no hot spots anywhere on this knife. Everything's chamfered down. All the edges are. Everything's really smooth. It's lightweight for a larger knife, right? Now this is a big knife. This is still a larger knife in my opinion compared to what I would normally carry, you know. My favorite carry size knife would be something like the Vist variant or the QSP Penguin, right? I love to carry this size knife. So it's quite a bit bigger than this. It's small compared to this, but this one, because of how lightweight it is, they've done a lot of milling on the inside there to get this weight down under 4 ounces. And then you got milling on the outside too for the carbon fiber to lay in there. So, you know, it looks like a thick chunk of titanium, but the majority of it is milled out. So, you can, I don't know if I can get that to show up in there or not. There you go. You can see in there where they've milled it out. It's very thin right there, so which has cut down this weight a lot. This little poon or this little ramp here to land your thumb works perfectly. Feels really good in your hand. This one is also on cage ceramic ball bearings and a ceramic ball detent, just like the original. Does have a stainless steel light bar insert in there. So yeah, great knife, guys. Great action. Not quite as drop shutty as this. That's just because this blade's only 120 thousandths, and I believe this one was 160 thousandths. So that weight is definitely going to bring that blade down faster. But I mean, when shaking, this thing comes down. It's pretty drop shutty. It's not quite a guillotine, but it's very drop shutty, very smooth, glassy smooth. It doesn't have the same ting like this one had on the close. No ting on the opener or the close, but man, the action's really good. I prefer the reverse flick, but the thumb flick is just fine also. Can't go wrong with either. The detent, not as stiff as the original, but I think that's because the original had a flipper, so they wanted a stiffer detent. Plus, with the weight of that blade, as soon as you break it, that blade's coming out. This one definitely does not have quite as stiff of a detent, but it's perfect for thumb stud action. No issues at all with the detent. Yeah, very good. I really like this one. Out of all the Migarons I've had on the channel so far, I've had these two, I've had the Flicks, I've had a couple of the budget Migarons. This is my favorite Migaron so far that I've had in hand. Just the size, the weight, the feel, everything about it's just right up my alley. Not my favorite blade shape, but that's okay. I can deal with that just for the action and the ergonomics. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Like I said in the previous Miguron video, if there's another Miguron out there you guys think I should check out, comment below and let me know what it is. Starting to really like Miguron. So, yeah, they're doing good things, and for the price they're doing it at, you know, they're doing this for less than we and some of the other companies are doing with the same materials. So, yeah, pretty impressive. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.